You know what's dumb? I had hope. I had hope for a second. And that was on me. Because for a second straight game, Nebraska only puts up one run. A solo home run. This time to start out the year. To start out the game or whatever. Fromm gets her 20th home run of the season. 20 and 20. 20 home runs, 20 wins. First player to ever have that in multiple seasons. Back-to-back seasons, no less. And then, just like that, it was all gone. The team was, to put it mildly, no more. For the next I would say 7 outs. 7 straight innings. They did not even attempt to knock the ball around. They thought they could hit home runs. Then we realized that home run was basically just a fluke. Like all things for Nebraska, it must die. It must die in a horrific way. And just like last year, we lose to an orange tee. And just like last year, it really feels like they missed a massive opportunity. Because for 5 innings, Jordy actually looked like she was competent. Back to her normal self. Even better than her normal self. Nothing. Just giving up absolutely nothing. 1 walk, but that was it. And then the 6th inning happened. Just like in baseball, that was the 1 inning in which it just died. Everything was over. Instead of having the opportunity to play 2 games against Tennessee and try and get revenge for the Super Regional, we fall at the hands of fucking Texas. The one team out of all of them in this pool that I could not accept a loss from. Okay? UCLA, whatever. It's fine. UCLA, we already beat them 3 times in the regular season. That's just how it is. Mississippi State would have been, cool to go up against, but they were dead before we knew it. Texas Tech, it is like, they spent $1 million or something, but whatever. Alabama, I'm not really an SEC guy, so obviously we don't necessarily have that. Pig time, so sorry. Literally, any of these other teams, I would have been fine with losing to. But just like in basketball, we are eliminated by the team that I, for the love of God, do not want to lose to. Because it's, again, exactly what I thought. It is exactly what they proclaim. Different leagues. And with UCLA going out at the exact same time, which does mean that both baseball and softball for both teams whiffed at the exact same time. With that, the Big Ten has nothing. Next year they will be given 0 grace. 1 loss will ruin it all. And no matter how good this team was this season, it just is never enough. Again, going into this, they had a shot. They had a lot better of a shot than most of these teams. And they won the first game. That's good. But they made a horrific decision in the second game. And that sealed our fate. No matter what we did in this third game, the coaching was just... Ravel did okay. I know, she's getting up there in age, but still has the chops. But to be having Jordy out there in that second game ruined any and all opportunity for us to beat Texas. Because eventually, she was going to get fucking gassed. And eventually, Texas was going to figure out what she's pitching. And eventually, Texas would start hitting the dinger. The dinger to end it all. And while there was zero chance that they would ever pull for Jensen, because that they just never do that. It's softball. It's completely different. That was that. It was over. All because the offense, as they had done throughout the entirety of the fucking regional, as they did throughout the entirety of this College World Series, they forgot how to hit the ball. That super regional was simply because Oklahoma State was ass. They were more ass than Wisconsin. And that's how the season fucking ends. Against the one team, for the love of God, should not lose to. And yes, I get, the whole rest thing, but you know what? She had them shut down for 5 innings. The offense should have done more with what they had, the time they had to have the lead, to build the lead. In the end, they failed Jordy. And that is that. A potential chance, if not the only chance, for us to have a run like that with Ravel at head coach, might be just gone. A lot of the players are seniors, after all. There aren't too many juniors. And I don't think the administration is willing to throw money around for the softball team as much as they would for the baseball team, the women's basketball team. Softball is not as high priority, no matter the success. It's just, it's sad, because, you had it. You had the opportunity to get even more rest. And instead of throwing out the freshmen for their first ever chance at playing in the World Series, could be the only chance she ever makes it, because you really never know what happens afterwards. Instead, you just try and ride or die, and that just doesn't work. And it's just sad, because especially since this happened at the exact same time as the baseball team shitting themselves. It felt like it just felt so empty. To go 1-2 in the Women's College World Series, it's obviously better than what it was in years past, when we didn't even make the NCAA tournament. The fact is that next year will be much, much worse compared to what this is. And I just wanted it to go longer. It felt like they could go much longer, but when the offense just not doing anything for long stretches of time, that's just how you're going to lose. And while both teams did put up, at least 5 innings of absolutely nothing, in the end, Texas was able to capitalize more on their offense. That was it. It is the quintessential story of Nebraska athletics. And it is exactly how the 25-26 academic year ends. With nothing but for achievement and shitting the bed. It's a brutal theme to have, achieved so much, yet shit the bed in the worst possible moment. Because you have teams, Tennessee, Tech, Texas, the other one, they've all made it farther than you. And you just feel like you're better than some of them. But because half of your team did not show up, that's how it ends. That's how that's how a bunch of players end their careers as softball players. That is how Jordy ends her career. And that might be how the greatest generation of Nebraska players has ended. I know there's probably some sort of talk about, the next decent crop of players, but it will be harder to win without a superstar. And while Jensen could turn into that, I just don't know if they will. They didn't even bother putting her out there to hit the ball. Didn't even bother. It felt like she just was not there. And it certainly wasn't injury because she was still pitching. So I just why Texas? Why? A&M, Iowa, Texas, Baylor, all teams that I would rather just not lose to. But in 4 sports, we lose to them. Just doesn't help. It just doesn't help. It doesn't help for the future when you lose games like this. It just does not help. And, again, we were trying to fight for the fact that we were underseeded. But in the end, we proved absolutely nothing. Other than that, the Big Ten is not worth any trust. If you want to be actually respected, you have to win every single game. Not only in the Big Ten, but in non-conference season. In the end, those losses in the early tournaments did no good. It did not do any good. It would have been much easier if Nebraska just scheduled absolutely nobody, and the only loss would have been against UCLA. That probably would have put us at the number 1 seed, unfortunately. Even if our SOS was so shit, they might still just have to respect, you only lost 1 game. Or hell, maybe you could just lose 0. But, no. Instead, it's just how it ends. You just don't want it to end. Especially since you know that baseball is inevitable death. But I came in today thinking that we could do something. But in the end, we just fail once again. And next year will be very brutal, knowing that this was potentially the best dance that we will ever have. And next year will just be, it'll just feel a lot lost without one of the best players, without one of the best teams as a whole. But since they did not show up, that's how it ends. At least I don't have to bother watching this thing anymore. At least I'll have the summer off to do whatever. Barely even watch Cubs baseball anymore. Just based on how this season goes, it's not going well. Over the summer, I'll be doing some other school shit. Currently doing that right now. I actually probably should be working on some of that, even if it is at 12:18 in the morning. Yeah. I think that'll do it. It's a somber end for the 25-26 academic year for something that, was pretty good. In the end, it just kind of just fell apart in the times it mattered most. But we'll always be here for next year, whether it's from women's soccer to football, from basketball to softball. We'll be there. We will absolutely be there. Anyway, see you guys at the end of the sun. Goodbye.